Oh my goodness, the market's tanking hard and heavy. So things don't look very good right now. If we look at just the overall market and the S&P, it's down quite a bit. I'm going to show you some of the bigger moves right now. So what do we've got? We got Microsoft is the one that's actually up. IBM, Google, CRM. I mean, just look at the board. It's mostly red. You got NVIDIA down $18, Google down $13. So if we look at what's going on here with this alphabet ABCs, we've got $12.92. We're down, so almost 10%. So what a nightmare here when we start looking at what's going on. You got Amazon down 5%, Apple down 1%, Meta platforms also down like almost 4%. So there's a ton of negative sentiment when we start looking at some of these players. So we're going to take a look at what's going on and what's happening here, and I'll give you just my personal take and cup of tea. All right, so when we start looking at some of these movements right here, so check this out. We're breaking on the SPY, this downward or the support level. That can be quite dangerous. So this is right around that 4,200 level. This was also the previous highs here. So when you look at this right now, this is breaking down. This is not good. I don't put a lot of colors on my charts besides just a few little things, and keeps it clean and just lets me focus on certain things. There's a lot of volume over here in these zones. Here we're picking up. There's not a lot of volume yet there either, so watch for the volume. If the volume starts picking up on the sell side here, which will be on this SPY, which it slightly is doing the last couple of days, but today it hasn't fully come through. This could be an issue if we get a follow through day. So that's why I would say watch that price area, and that's an issue, because otherwise, if you can get a bounce off support, that's good. But overall, we're creating a couple of other issues, which are lower highs, and that's not good. And you might say, well, what's the heck with all this? So anyway, looking at some individual stocks, I'm going to show you Google here. Today, this thing is toast and down. You can see big candle volume picking up, so that's going to highlight here soon. So when we start looking at this, we're down quite a bit. You're down like 13% on that. That's definitely an issue. So you got to have a plan when you come into earnings. So watch out, because earnings are around the corner in a lot of areas. You've got Microsoft that is actually doing okay, because this one popped a bit when we start looking at the charts and the technicals. You're popping here, but you got a little bit of a gap. So looking at some of these things, you can take a look at the news and so on, but the market overall is just dragging a lot of things down. So terrible to tech, wise chips to blame, Alphabet, Q3 revenue and earnings beat, but cloud business falls short. So cloud misses here. So there's a handful of issues there, but Microsoft earnings, if you pull that up, after revenue and earnings beat, Microsoft blows past earnings estimates as cloud growth comes in hot. So this is, pushing the stock. How far can it push it? Well, we'll see. Time will tell. But it's not by any means, if you start looking at the weekly, it's not by any means cheap. You've got some resistance right around 350, so that could come in and have some trouble, especially if the market is weak. So I'd be a little bit more mindful of that. We had a high back here in 2022-ish, pulled back, came up, retested it here. So let's see if this is going to be resistance or rejection, but you're coming right into that resistance point. So that's where you want to be a little more careful into this Microsoft stock. If you look at the related companies here, I've got Amazon, Google, most everything else is down besides Microsoft. So looking at some other things here that I want to point out, we'll pull on Tesla, also another one that's kind of been going down since the earnings here. So what we've got is after earnings, this thing went down, we're selling off, we're still creating lower highs, as you can see by the chart. So it's kind of moving in this direction on the downside. If you look at the weekly, we're really just moving sideways. Okay, so look at this, 300, resistance, and you've kind of got, well, somewhat here. This was a little bit of a lower point, but you've got a little bit of chop right here that's happening. So nothing amazing. Will it hold here? I don't know. It's already broken through. Market acting weak. It's pushing it down. So a little bit of an issue. One of the few bright spots today I noticed was Target. Target is starting to push through. If we go in, let me see, I'll just show you the YouTube normal. If we go through, it was one of the ones that was actually pushing to the upside over here. So it looked really good. So I'd say watch that trend on this one to see if we can start creating higher lows. That would be good. The other bright spot I saw over the last couple of days was LVS. It was green earlier. It's breaking this area, was green earlier. Now it's pulling back a bit, but it is one that consolidated for quite a bit. I got in it right there, actually, right before the break because it was choppy. I said, oh, well, volume's coming in, earnings, and so on. I thought it might break. It's doing that, but a little bit weak today with the market action, so we'll see if it'll hold. If not, get out for a break even later. But yeah, SPY is kind of what you're looking at. And from a sell side standpoint right now, it doesn't look good. It's not great. Remember, though, the thing is, what you want to do is be greedy when others are fearful, right? So as you start seeing some of these sell-offs and you start seeing some of the issues coming into play, with the Google being down, you got Square also pushing down, Shopify also pushing down, breaking this key support level right there. Not looking good. Volume's not coming in yet, but it is overall trending lower. But this is could be an opportunity to start buying in. Watch out for earnings here. You've got earnings around the corner on 12/2. So that's something to be a little bit careful about. Carvana also continuing to trend on the downside. DKNG whipping back down, support around 26.54. W, I'm kind of waiting for this one to pull back a bit more and maybe see if it can bounce at this area. I think that could be a nice bounce off support kind of play. So watch for that one. Just looking at kind of some of the big movers. AMD still continuing in this trend on the downside. So nothing exciting here in that area. Spotify, as you can see, we had earnings just the other day, popped. Now it's pulling back. So it's getting back into this range and channel. And Amazon also down in a big way. So you can see some of these stocks that have been, holding some of these, not quite support there, but support more here. Starting to break down. You've got earnings on 10/26. So that's also something to be mindful of and be careful about. So that's tomorrow on this one. So anyway, we've got Pinterest here. Earnings on the 30th, still sideways action. But if we break this, that could be room to short. That could be a problem because then that could push that stock lower. And just a lot of things just breaking down technically. You can see Roku, an engulfing bar in a way on this part. Not quite engulfing because we didn't go to the upside, but it's continuing to trend lower. You've got an A to B, B to C, almost a C to D pattern. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Okay, and then we've got PayPal also breaking lower. So just a lot of stocks here to the downside. NVIDIA down almost $18. It was down actually 19 earlier. You've got some support here, but this stock is toppy. I still would say it's toppy. Be a little careful here. Right there, watch that resistance. Here's kind of support around 400. If we break this 400, that's going to be some trouble for this stock. So watch out. You also have got a lot of selling pressure, volume coming in because that volume is a problem on the sell side action. Okay, so that's not good. Meta, same thing. You got almost a double top right here. A little bit of a problem. This upside too, breaking down, not good. And it looks like it's starting to crash a little bit here on that. You've got earnings on the 25th. So that'll be today. If this thing has some nasty earnings, that could be pretty bad. So we'll see if it goes down to like lower levels or if it could push back up. You never know. Sometimes these things do get surprising. Anyway, so far looks beyond that. That's what we've got going on with the stock. With these stocks, truly appreciate you sticking with me. Don't forget to subscribe. And I also appreciate all the comments, fellowships, and thank yous that you guys send in. So feel free to write in some good comments or questions if you like. So thanks for joining me. Feel free to check out the website, tradersfly.com, if you want to learn more about options, or our criticalcharts.com website, which is where you can pick up some mini courses and freebies and webinars. So I'll see you there in the next video. Take care.